Merry Christmas, everybody! I'm the Old Man, and it's the second week of Advent. And as promised, I'm going to talk about music, Christmas music. And I'm going to play Super Mario Bros. 3. This is the All-Stars version of this game. And I actually got Super Mario Bros. 3 twice, kind of. I got it when it originally came out. I got it for Christmas of 1991. And then I got it for Christmas of 93, when it came out for Super Nintendo, was the All-Stars collection. So that's what I'm playing right now. Always a fun game, and the All-Stars collection is awesome. I don't know if they have it on Virtual Console yet, but if they do, you should go get it, because if you haven't played any of these old Mario games, you're really missing out. But that's not what we're talking about. This is just window dressing. Today we're talking about Christmas music, and my favorite kinds of Christmas music, and what Christmas music you should be listening to. Not that I really like to tell people what to do, but when it comes to music, I totally will tell you what to do. I didn't really start getting into Christmas music per se until my first year of, I suppose it would be my third year of college. My first year of going away college. And I got the Now That's What I Call Christmas collection. That was the first collection that came out there. There's been a ton of them. And listened to it, and this was like in November or something, but it gave me all the feels, guys. It gave me all of the songs. It's mostly, that first collection is mostly, I can't get under there for some reason, is mostly just classics. So it's, you know, White Christmas by Bing Crosby, and Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Frank Sinatra, and that first disc, it's 2 discs long. The first disc is excellent. And the second disc is excuse me, a half good. It's like half got good songs on it, and then the other half of the songs are like just like Britney Spears and not Boys to Men, but because that song's pretty good. But like In Sync and that crap. So it's sort of good. And that was about the first time when I decided that, yeah, Christmas music is like something I'm actually going to listen to as a genre. And so I started listening to it, and I love it. Still love it today. I'll listen to it. Usually I even start listening to Christmas music sometimes around July or August. I'll listen to a little bit of Christmas music just as sort of a palate cleanser, or to whet my appetite for Christmas music. My wife's been already listening to it's Christmas while you're watching this, but it's not while I'm recording this, and my wife's already been listening to Christmas music, which I don't mind. I had a hand in that, turning her into kind of a Christmas person, Christmas liking person. Hey, alright, I got that one up. So I just want to talk about some of my favorite albums and stuff. My first one that I would pick is Bing Crosby's White Christmas. Now, there's not an actual album called White Christmas by Bing Crosby. Back in the day, of course, they had the song White Christmas, and then the record would have whatever the B-side was of White Christmas. Excuse me. And so I got one of those collections. It's actually called White Christmas. It came with the movie Holiday Inn, a DVD of that, and it came with a Santa hat. Not the best collection that I could have gotten, but it was what was there. And that's a really good collection. His music is kind of, I love his voice, and it just kind of makes me feel nostalgic, even though I'm not really, I wasn't, that was what my parents' time, it was like my grandparents' time. And I think I like that it's simple and kind of stripped down, and just it's nostalgic, even though I'm not nostalgic for that time. And I always love all the songs. There's a good mix of the hymn type songs with the fun holiday type songs. And I've always liked I'll Be Home for Christmas. I don't think that's strictly his, but and all the versions of the songs he does are really good. He's actually, and I don't have this particular version of this song, but there is a version of the First Noel that he does, and the first part of it is like he's just sort of a little voiceover where he's talking about, hey, everybody listening there on the radio, you know, and giving a little Christmas greeting, and I love that. I like it really gives you the sense of what listening to Christmas songs on the radio would have been like at that time period. And I love that. And so that it's not necessarily White Christmas. The collection I have is one of my favorites, but you could get any collection. And I did not get another star, darn it. But I did get the White Toad House. So any collection of that's pretty good. I think there's an Ultimate Bing collection that's pretty good. Any of them are gonna. It's all gonna kind of be the same songs anyway, so you can't go wrong with it. The second one, these aren't really in any particular order. I'm just sort of naming them, and I have notes too. I recorded a whole take of this without any notes, and I was like, man, I need to go back and I need to make some notes. So I made notes of what I want to talk about. Vince Guaraldi's soundtrack for Charlie Brown Christmas is absolute Christmas essential. I mean, I guess all these are Christmas essential. Why in the world did I get that? But I love the just stripped down, very minimalist vibe of that soundtrack. I mean, it's just piano, upright bass, and drums, and that's it. That's all you get, and it works so well. The melodies work. The new music that he wrote for the Peanuts special works, the traditional stuff works, it all just works, and it's so chill, and definitely all the feels. And the Charlie Brown special is one of my favorite specials, but we'll talk about that next week when we talk about movies. Excuse me. Yeah, I got him in one hit. I'm actually doing better on this retake than I was on my original playthrough. I was playing really terrible on that. And the other thing that I think is important to note about Vince Guaraldi is he had an amazing mustache. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of him, but he has the most amazing handlebar mustache that you've ever seen. It is wonderful. Don't mess with the stash. And he actually made, after that Christmas special, that was the first one, and he recorded the soundtracks to, umpteen specials. I mean, up until he died. I think he's dead. Is he dead? I don't know if he's dead. I think he's dead. He's got to be dead. Anyway, the soundtrack, it's available pretty much everywhere whenever Christmas time comes around, so it's definitely something to get a hold of. And if you're another pick for me is if you have watched any of my other videos, I have probably mentioned Sixpence None the Richer and what a fantard I am of them, and how sad I am that people only know them for that one song. But in 2008, they came out with a Christmas collection called The Dawn of Grace, and it is awesome, of course. It's got a mix of originals and cover and traditional songs and stuff. And of course they tackle it with their usual style of sort of melancholy and wonder, and Lee's voice sounds great as always. They have one song on there called The Last Christmas, and we no relation to the Doctor Who Christmas special. Oh really? You stink. That one went away from me when it wasn't supposed to. And my wife's texting me. What was I saying? Oh, Last Christmas. So Last Christmas, I got that CD about when my wife was pregnant with our daughter. Oh, good, I made it. And the song is about, you know, a couple who's getting ready to have a baby, who's coming in the spring, and how they're getting their room ready, and that this is really going to be their last Christmas alone. And there's a line in there. Is that the same? Oh, all right, good. There's a line in there that says something about, excuse me, God being the maker of beautiful things, and that line makes the bridge of that song makes me cry. It made us cry. Like every time we heard it, we would be like, oh, I can't wait for our baby. It was really, and I still would probably tear up if I heard it right now. But even that, they have a cool song called Christmas for Two, which is a cool little, you know, romantic song with a little sort of swing to it, and a version of a song called River which I think was Joni Mitchell originally. And you don't hear a lot of that song, and I actually really like that song. It's kind of a sad, it's like a sad Christmas song, but I actually really enjoyed that song, and they do a good job covering it. And what's the other one? Ryu Ryu Chiu is a foreign language song, and I generally don't do foreign language songs. I mean, I guess if it's baby metal, I make the exception for them. Oh, really? But that's a Spanish language song, and I actually really enjoyed that one too. So I might just like it because it's 6 pence, but I do think it's actually good. The Dawn of Grace should be cheap at this point because I don't. Should be easy to get at any rate. Okay. Oh my word! That Metal Gear Solid codec is lots of texts happening. I apologize, but you know what? It happens. I'm doing this live. It's live. It's okay. So I talked about 6 pence. Pentatonics. Pentatonics. If you don't know who Pentatonics is, you're missing out. Oh my word, guys! Come on. Pentatonics. So we kind of switched on to Pentatonics last year. My wife found out about them somehow on YouTube, and she let me listen to some of their songs and stuff, and some of their Christmas covers, and they were really good. Like, they're an a cappella group, which I don't normally go for, but they've got the guy in there beatboxing, and they've got I noticed that the ones with Goombas in them are different colors. Anyway, they got the kid beatboxing in there, and they've got a really cool layered sound to their vocals, and even like almost some electronic influences in their albums. And to me, that's just amazing, considering the things those kids can do with their voices is just astounding to me. And I would go so far as to say that if you're the kind of person who likes music and you don't like Pentatonics, there might be something wrong with your brain. Like, you seriously want to see a neurologist, because those kids are good. And their Christmas album, called That's Christmas to Me, is similarly excellent. It's got a lot of good... Let's see if I can... Nope, I gotta go the other way. It's got a lot of good traditional arrangements of traditional songs. It's got probably one of the best versions of... Oh, crud. Probably got one of the best versions of Mary Did You Know, which is another song you don't... That's, you know, sort of semi-popular. You don't hear too much of it. They do an excellent version of that song. I like their... they do a song called White Winter Hymnal, which I've never heard of up until now, and I think it's a cover, but that's really cool too. And just generally a really good album. Just be blown away by the voices, and... Oh, gosh. Okay, there. Blown away by their voices. It's just good stuff, y'all. Just good stuff. Makes you feel all the Christmas feels. Pentatonics. What was next? Lorena McKinnon. Always been a fan of Lorena McKinnon. She is sort of Celtic, New Agey, whatever. I'm not sure exactly. World music, maybe you'd classify her as. Anyway, she's done a few Christmas EPs with some songs on it, but she's put out a full length not too long ago. I can't remember when it came out. I say not too long ago. It's probably like 5 years ago. Called A Midwinter Night's Dream, and I of course love that as well. I originally, back in the days of Kazaa, downloaded a couple of her songs, like her version of the Coventry Carol and God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, both very Celtic influenced versions of those songs, and I really like those, and those are on that CD that I got. Also, there's like the Seven Rejoices of Mary, which is cool, and there's sort of almost like a madrigal type song on there. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. As I always usually do enjoy Lorena McKinnon stuff. I'm not trying to get the white pea house on this one, because it's hard. It wouldn't have been as hard if I'd have just hit that turtle like I was supposed to. And did I say the Seven Rejoices of Mary? I've never heard that song before, but I ended up really enjoying that song. It was, you know, just really good Celtic Christmas CD. And it's more Celtic sounding than the Celtic Women, because I looked them up, because I do like Celtic music, and they're not quite as Celtic when it comes to actually Celtic sounding music. So I'm not a huge fan of Celtic Women. I don't hate them, but I'm not really a fan either. Now, being a metal guy, you would think there's a couple of metal Christmas albums. There's one called We Wish You a Very Metal Christmas, and it's okay. I tend not to do a lot of metal Christmas because for some reason it just doesn't jive with me. However, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is a fantastic metal Christmas. So if you like a lot of harder, they're definitely progressive too. So if you like progressive rock, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra albums are great. I have Christmas Eve and Other Stories is really good, and The Lost Christmas Eve is also, both of those are excellent. The Christmas Attic is not as good in my opinion. It has one really terrible vocalist that ruins it for me. He sounds like he's almost just shouting. He's not even singing, he's just shouting, and that just irritates the snot out of me. So, yeah, I don't... but Christmas Eve and Other Stories and The Lost Christmas Eve, both excellent albums, both great songs on them. Cool story. I always like the packaging. I've talked about how I'm such a sucker for packaging. The packaging of a Trans-Siberian Orchestra CD is really good because they explain the story and the lyrics are all there, and oh, it's just good stuff. What was that? And Harry Connick Jr. is another one that I kind of what is it? When My Heart Finds Christmas. He's got a few Christmas albums out, but When My Heart Finds Christmas is like the first one that I was really exposed to him. And that's all New Orleans jazz stuff, which again, normally I wouldn't really, listen to, but when it's Christmas, apparently I just forget what I actually like and will like, oh, sad. Will like just about anything. At least that's what my wife tells me. She's like, if it's Christmas, you'll just like it. Yeah, probably. That's probably true. But Harry Connick Jr. I heard the first song of his that I heard was It Must Be Old Santa Claus, I think. And that was the song that really turned me on. That was on the Now That's What I Call Christmas compilation, and that's what really turned me on to Harry Connick Jr. And I wonder where the thing is that I can do. You know what? I don't remember, and I don't care. And so excuse me, man. And there's a lot of cool original songs like I Pray on Christmas. I think, oh my gosh, people, seriously. More texting through my entire video. Isn't that awesome? Oh well, it's good to have ladies that love you. So I can't complain too much. And my mom and my wife both love me very much, and I'm very blessed that they do. So they can text me if they want to. Anyway, Harry Connick Jr. I Pray on Christmas. Must Have Been Old Santa Claus. And then, the other stuff's really good too. The covers of traditional songs are always really good. And on one of his other albums, he did Mary's Man, Boy, Child. I think it's that. Anyway, I really like that song. I ended up really liking that song, even though I'd never heard it before. So that's kind of the albums. Those are probably my go-to albums. There's a few more like honorable mention type things, like CeeLo's Magic Moment Christmas CD is actually pretty good. My wife calls him Black Elton John because he's weird. I guess weird-ish. I don't know. Anyway, that's what she calls him. So any complaints you can lobby over at her. And then there's just like, aside from just albums, there's also like a lot of little songs that I like. There's a song by a group from the 80s called The Waitresses, and their song Christmas Wrapping, and I've always loved that song. It's kind of a little fun rock song about, trying to, make a date with this guy, but you keep missing you keep crossing paths, but you never really get time to get together. And it's a cute little story song with all right, good. I'm glad I got one of those. Anyway, it's a cute little story song with a cute little ending in it, and that's cute. I really like that song. I've always liked Christmas in Hollis from Run DMC. and there's not a lot of Christmas rap songs, I've noticed. For whatever reason, there's not a lot of Christmas rap songs. But that's a really good one. I always like that one. And if you're gonna do rap, Run DMC, they're probably the guys to go to. Not being a huge rap person, I don't know. I've always liked the Eurythmics version of Winter Wonderland. It's got this sort of strange little creepy intro that almost reminds me of Castlevania music sometimes. And then the song, kicks in, and it's, a synth happy version of that song, which I've always really liked that song. And I've always really liked their version of it. Probably one of my favorite versions of that song. I like Gabriel's Message from, and that's by Sting, and that is such a brooding little song, brooding little Christmas song, and very atmospheric, very evocative, I think, and I've always really enjoyed that song. I consider that probably one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time. And what else is there? There is one song. Maybe y'all can help me if you're listening to this. Maybe you can help me locate this particular Christmas rarity. Long time ago, when I was a child, I had a little Fisher-Price record player, and I had this record that was Christmas. That was, excuse me, Christmas. And on this record was a song called Snoopy's Christmas, and it was about how Snoopy was dueling the Red Baron, as he was wont to do, and the Red Baron stopped him and invited him to have a cup of tea or exchange presents or whatever he did on Christmas. So they were fighting on Christmas, and instead of fighting, they had Christmas dinner. And I've always liked that song, and so I did find it on Kazaa or something, or LimeWire. I found it somewhere. But what I cannot find, that song was on a record or an album of different songs that I have. One of them was I Wish It Was Christmas. Every day was Christmas, and Snoopy was on it. My goodness, Snoopy was on it, and as he was a character on it, and I think it was the Peanuts were on it, and for the life of me, there was a narrator, a man and a woman narrator. For the life of me, I've never been able to find any trace of that album anywhere. I've looked it up online. I've tried to find it online. I've got nothing. I just know that it was a record that existed that I listened to, and it has Snoopy's Christmas on it, and it has another song about wanting it to be Christmas every day. I'm not going to go ahead and get those because I don't think I really need them. And I don't know anything where it is. So if anybody out there listening or watching this video knows about it, comment. Let me know if you have any information on this particular album so that I can either track it down or at least know what it was. I would be happy with just the knowledge of what it was. That would be fantastic. So if anybody can help out, I would appreciate it. And I think that's the end of my notes, looks like. That's the end of my notes. I can't think of anything else to talk about, music-wise. Oh, what's his name? Dr. Octorok did, if you like chiptunes, which is old Nintendo-sounding music, he did an album called 8-Bit Jesus, and has a lot of, has some cool 8-bit renditions of holiday songs. So I recommend you check him out. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and beat these Hammer Brothers, and then I think we'll be done. Or not. Or I'll just die. It looks like I'm just gonna die. Yep, I'll just die. Okay, so I'll just die. You know what? No, I can't leave it there. I can't leave it there. I'm not gonna end a video with me just dying. That's wrong. I'm gonna kill these Hammer Brothers, and then we'll be done. Oh, my word, get him. Okay. There we go. Whistle. And so that's my Christmas music. I have a lot of music that I kind of consider Christmas music that's not actually Christmas music. because I have such a strong association with ew, frog suit, ew. I have such a strong association with music and with things that there's a lot of music that's not Christmas music that I can sort of consider as my personal canon of Christmas music. And I can even think back, because I associate music so strongly and I've been listening to music so much in my life, I can almost name everything, the year of Christmases, and name the things that I got that particular Christmas and the things that I was listening to, like the presents that I got and the music I was listening to and kind of what was happening. And I can still... I'm going to go ahead and finish this level. Then we'll be done. This is a long video, but it's about music. It should be long. And so I kind of have an exercise every Christmas time where I go back and, starting with the most recent Christmas, see if I can remember, see how much I can remember. And I can remember pretty far back, almost to like 85, 84, with only a couple of years here and there that are a little bit muddled. I think that, and that's weird. I mean, that I know that's weird. I realize that is really weird. And my wife's like, "How do you even remember all that?" That's weird. I'm weird, and that's the answer is I'm weird. So let's kill this Koopa, and then I think we'll be done. I can finally see what all those text messages are from my family. Get the wand! Super Mario Bros. 3. There's nothing to say about Super Mario Bros. 3. Go play it. You ain't played it, then you're a fool, and you need to go play it. Unless you don't like games. And in that case, I don't know why you're watching this, but I appreciate it. I'm just a little confused. Doing... This is probably the longest video. No, it's not. No, is this the longest? I think this is about the longest video I've ever done. This one right here, as of right now. Alright, everybody. Got my letter from the princess. Christmas letter. Alright, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing with me. Like, comment, and subscribe. And comment. Make some comments if you want down in the comments. Talk about your own favorite Christmas music. Because I love talking about Christmas music. And I will see you next week. Next week we're going to talk about Christmas movies. So that should be fun. I'll see you then.